Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Man, I got a battle today. I got my GBV shirt on. I got some two boxers here going feisty. I'm going to get feisty here too. This is a big matchup to me. I've got Hardins Creek versus Calumet 16. We're talking about ultra aged Jim Beam versus ultra aged Barton. Doesn't get much better than that. So let's see which one emerges here. I know the Calumet is much easier to find than the Hardins Creek, but is it better? If it's better, hey, that'd be a good recommend for everybody, and maybe I'll buy another one of these before they're gone. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Let's kick off the show. All right. So mentioned off the top here, we've got a head-to-head. Our first contender, the Hardins Creek. This one was aged for 14 years. This is a Jim Beam product. It is 108 proof. Now, unlike the Calumet, I don't necessarily know how many barrels went into this particular blend when it comes to the Hardins Creek, but we are talking about highly aged Jim Beam versus the Calumet 16, favorite of many people here. And the Hardins Creek was 108 proof. This one's 116 proof. That's what intrigued me about this particular battle. Similar ages, proofs off the table. Let's see which one emerges. Now, ultimately, the Calumet is, I think, easier to find. It's also cheaper. You can get this one 140, 150 bucks versus the Hardin Creek, which is 160, 170 and harder to find. So I wanted to see which one of these things would emerge in a head-to-head blind battle. And to give both these pours the respect they deserve, and the first time I've actually ever done this, I'm doing a blind and fancy glasses. I definitely poured a little too much, so I will be enjoying this the rest of the day. So, regardless of which bottle wins, I win. Yay. So, that's what we have today. We're going to go through these head to head and let's see which one emerges. So, we're going to go through the nose first and then we'll go through the palate. Misplaced my pen. All right. So, we'll go through the nose and then we'll go through the palate. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. All right. Glass number one on the palate or on the nose. Man, just that deep oak. I'm gonna get that from all of these here. This one has some nice cherry to it and reminds me of blueberry muffins. So I don't know how blind this battle's gonna be, unfortunately. But maybe I'm wrong. Oh man. That one's really good. There's some good citrus coming off of that one too. Ooh, okay. Let's see what I get off glass number two here. I'm not gonna get too deep into this. All right. Glass number two is Banana Fosters. Oh man. Either I'm going to look pretty foolish at the end or I already know what this is. All right, glass number one and glass number two. Try to blind these things, but there's only so far you can go when the profiles, I guess, are a bit different. What's interesting about this, I don't know if I'm right or wrong or not, but glass number one, which I believe is the Jim Beam, just based off the profile, I'll get even more information when we taste it. It actually comes off as older, which doesn't make sense. It's 14 years versus 16 years. Me reverse engineering, making sure I got my math right. Yeah. So, oh no, wait. 184 months. No, wait. No, I got my math wrong, right? 184. Oh, no, Jeff. 12 years. Oh, they're similar ages then, right? Oh, man. This is very embarrassing to do math on the fly, but ultimately I've got to compare this. Oh, no, the well is older than I thought it was. Why did I think it was 14 years? That doesn't make any sense. Yes, you're watching me do math. I apologize for this. Right? Yeah, that ain't right at all. Huh. Okay. So it's a little older than that. All right. Bad math beforehand, but I guess it's more similar than I thought. This one comes off as older, though. Welcome to the intermission where you get to watch me do math on the side. That's the reason I grabbed the pen. Oh, man. I love that nose. On the nose, one dominates two. I will say that. One wins that battle. All right. Let's go through the palette here. I'm excited to go through this. Cheers, everybody. Man. Oh, that is so lovely. So glass number one, man, that oak on number one, that sip was even better than my memory of both these pours. But ultimately, a lot of cherry coming through, a lot of chocolate coming through, a lot of vanilla cream coming through. So I go back to the cherry cordial note, and that's something that I thought about quite a bit with the Hardins Creek. And I can't imagine that I'm going to be thinking about that, about the Calumet, but man, we'll see if this surprises me. All right, I'm going to rinse out before we go into glass number two. Doing math on the fly. What an idiot. Man. All right, let's get into glass number two. Cheers, everybody. Oh, that is really good on the taste. Banana Forester all the way, though. Oh, man. That's hitting me in the right spot, too. Oh, this is tough. Man. Really splitting hairs on the profile. I don't think this is blind whatsoever. I mean, that is just straight Banana Forester here. So glass number two has to be the Calumet. Glass number one has to be the Hardins Creek. So I've got to break these things down. I mean, I said number one won the nose. Gosh, I got to break these things apart. All right, let's go back into glass number one here, and I'll try to think of a way to do this on the fly, just like I did the math on the fly. Guess I'm grading them on the fly. This is all confusing. Thanks for joining me regardless. Man. The oak presence on the Hardins Creek trumps the Calumet entirely. The Calumet probably had an unfair position going second in this, but by the time I get to the Calumet, the oak doesn't even emerge. The Hardins Creek is snuffing it out seemingly. I'm doing more math, by the way. I'm still checking my math. All right, I need to stop doing math. So, cherry cordial is a thing that emerges there. and it leaves you with a little bit of citrus on the finish, which reminds me of a lemon bar combined a little bit with the pastry and some like the cookie crumble type sensation. Oh, that's really good. All right, another sip of number two. Number two is brighter up front, banana Forster, banana Foster, all throughout there. The math has got me flustered, by the way. Banana Foster all throughout there, and then it gets brighter and a lot more vanilla on the finish. That's actually the interesting thing as I compare these two. The seemingly Hardins Creek gets darker as it goes on, whereas the Calumet is getting brighter as it goes on. I'm going to rinse out one more time, go reverse order before we call this thing. This is going to be pure preference, though, by the way. These things actually bat very similarly. That extra oak on the thing that I thought was 14 years old until I did the math, um, with the Hardins Creek does emerge quite a bit here. That's what separates these two is actually the oak, which is actually an interesting thing to say. And that oak is not a off-putting oak in any way. Like there's no furniture varnish or over aging there. Like it is just this nice velvety oak. And the reason that I rinsed out is because when I go 1 to 2, 1 being the Hardins Creek, 2 being the Calumet, the oak doesn't emerge. So let's see what the Calumet can do on a fresh take. Oh, that helped a bit. There's the oak. Man, that's the thing you got to think about when you're blinding, man. You got to give things a fair shake, switch them up the order. Now I'm getting lots of oak on the Calumet. And when I'm going back and forth, I wasn't getting those. Even without rinsing out, I'm going to take a sip of number one. I want to see if that oak then trumps it or if it's muted. And if it's muted, what notes emerge? Oh, man. No, man. Nope. The Hardins Creek. Oh, man. That was lovely. The Hardins Creek takes this. It had the nose. Well, the Hardins Creek. Glass number one takes it. Let's at least do the reveal. Glass number two is in second. These were really close. Ultimately, the Hardins Creek or glass number one, the presumably Hardins Creek, has a gear that the Calumet 16 doesn't have. But man, both are amazing pours. This is a great tasting. I'm just going to enjoy these things the rest of the day. So let's get to it. Glass number one is the winner. And glass number one is the Jacob's Well. And then we got two, and that's the Calumet. There we go. So that explains that one. That's the hard thing about doing these head to head sometimes. You kind of need that full blind to really blind things because the notes are so distinctive that you get to that point in the tasting and you just got to call a spade a spade. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't know what they are the entire time I'm talking. So ultimately, yeah, Jacob's Well is amazing pour, but Calumet 16 ain't too far behind. So if you can't find the Hardins Creek and you can find the Calumet 16, man, that is a really good alternative. That is a great pour. So I guess the conclusion on this one, hey, Jim Beam wins. I'm going to go do the math on 184 months again, just to confirm myself for the fourth time that it's not 14 years old. Yeah. Dang it. Should have thought of that before. But thanks for joining me, everybody, for a tasting and a on the fly math lesson. I don't think it was a math lesson. Math experience. Really going to lean into the PBS Mr. Rogers Blue Clues thing on that one. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today, everybody. I'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.